This review is being brought to you by PrimeToys.net. PrimeToys.net, we can get you collector grade Transformers for not the collector grade prices. PrimeToys.net. And I am a reviewer, so let the reviews be joined. Hey guys, your friend Dinobot here once again with another video review for you. And today we're going to bring in and look at Transformers Combiner Wars Deluxe Class Dead End. Very cool. The Wave 2 from the Stunticons, as you know, he was not, we didn't get all the Stunticons all at one time, but with Wave 2 we're getting them all put out. You can see my table's kind of unlevel, or I got something unlevel on him where he's not actually sitting level, but he still sits right. Before we really get to looking here at Dead End, we're going to look at his accessories that come with him. And first and foremost, once again, here's his instruction sheet. Very cool. As always, the art and the detail on this is beyond amazing. It's definitely a vast improvement from what we've gotten before. And as you can see in this, the transformation into robot mode is supposed to be in basically 11 steps. But before we get into transforming him, let's also look at his other accessory. His comic book to come with him. Nice little design art here. It's a Hasbro exclusive cover, and this is a reprint of Robots in Disguise, issue number 16. Not much detail I want to give out on this issue. A lot happens in this. We do get a bit more of what was going on in the story, but the back page, as you see, is basically a little text spec of, or basically a psych report. No, excuse me, this isn't a psychology report. It's a operational status update by Soundwave. Most of the others I've seen was on Wrong, but this one's of Soundwave, or by Soundwave. And then on the inside back page, we get the on-desk Genesis design of him from basically drawing phase to sketch phase to gray model to finished product. I really like the way they've been putting these in. They do look awesome. But definitely, as for the comic itself, if you haven't picked up any IDW books, as I've said in my previous videos, you definitely should check them out now. You have this is not Robots in Disguise anymore. They've actually lost that, not really lost it. They took the name off because of the current cartoon that's out there now of Robots in Disguise, and that's basically the reason why. So it's basically just Transformers now. I highly recommend checking that out. I highly recommend you also checking out the More Than Meets the Eye story arc. Also the Windblade, which runs in with both of these series. And then you got the separate story arc of the Transformers G.I. Joe, all done by IDW. But let's get to looking at Brett Dead End with his other accessories. First, his little gun, foot accessory here, hand, whichever you want to describe it. This is nice. It's very cool. You can peg it in right here at the top of Dead End. Give him a little type of gun up here if you want. The way they do these on this is very reminiscent of the G1 weaponry that they had. Because if you know the G1 Stunticons, they had a little weapon. And same with the Protectobots and all. They had a weapon that would basically peg into the back, and it would basically raise up and curve up over the top of the vehicle and be like some kind of double blaster or some kind or other. These are good little representations of them. And they just basically made them where they basically had added the hand, foot part used to it as well. But you can't really, other than the top part, there's not really any other place you can really peg it in. There is a port back here in the back, but it kind of lifts the car up on the ground no matter which way you do it. You could kind of do it like this and have, like, say somebody's looking up under them to work on them or whatnot, but you can also do it here on the side. But again, it's kind of a off-wall thing. You can't really do nothing with that. But his other little accessory here is this basically exhaust pipe, club, gun, wherever way you want to describe this. Nice design and stuff on it. And again, with like this other weapon, you can peg it in up top here to have it like a, I don't know what kind of blaster you'd have it at, considering the almost like the barrel's pointing upward. Or you can have it here in the back, like so. Or, which to me looks a lot better, you peg it in here, the side peg here, or excuse me, the side hole, and you have like a little exhaust pipe here. If you actually really wanted to, if you can get you a couple of these, and you wanted to like cut this off, sand this off, whichever way, you can probably even take this and sand this down also a little bit. You can peg this in and actually have it laying flat up against it and have one on each side. Give it a little bit more drag race or, you know, type of style to it if you wanted to do that. But before we go much further, guys, let's look at Dead End himself. Nice color, very nice color scheme, very G1-esque color to him. He's got the Decepticon on the scheme up here on the front. Nice silver here for the headlights and all. I mean, he's still very cool. Rolls really good and everything. Next, before we transform into the robot mode, let's go ahead and look at his leg and arm modes. Now, to me, Dead End was the left arm. I believe he was an arm. Let's put it that way. I might be getting his position wrong, but I know he was an arm. But before we get into that phase, let's look at him in leg mode. Leg mode, not much to it. You basically, all you do is you pull the front windshield up, pop, you know, flip all the way back. You'll then flip the whole front end basically back, which mine keeps wanting to pop the front port here up. You will then go ahead and you can go ahead and pull this connector port out. Then all you do is take the foot, the extra tab here, peg it in, and there he is in leg mode. Nothing to it. I mean, it's very, very simple. Now, like everybody would say, this is how you're supposed to look in G1, and you can, as always, you can do that, which not too bad. But again, you know, you do lose the little knee bit to it, because when you have it like this, he does have the knee swivel for in Minosaur mode. But we'll look at all that when I do the review of Minosaur, once I get all these individual reviews done. But to transform him into his arm mode, it's again very simple. Basically, you want to, whoops, I keep wanting to do like Wild Rider on, or excuse me, on breakdown on this guy. But all you do is the legs. To do this transformation, you flip this panel back, and you'll rotate this down. You'll then close this back. Do the same on this side. Whoops, I keep wanting to do the back part. Rotate that down. But as you see, when you do this, there's a little trick to this as well. Or not really a trick, but a little thing to it. This little, you have this little pipe here. You want to rotate this around to the bottom, and then you peg these back together as so, and you have to make sure it lined up really well. This way you have the port down here at the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and do this in his, let's see, his right arm mode. I do believe that's the way he's supposed to be in G1, was the right arm. You'll put the port down to his side. You can turn it. You turn it at the waist, or this section here, to form the, which mine, for some reason, he keeps wanting to pop, separate there. But there's this. Again, you can flip, like with breakdown, you can have this back, basically like so for the mode, but you can also have it flip back up. And just get it to latch. I don't really think it'll sit too well with the port up, but you can have it like so. And you'll take the combiner port or combiner piece here. You'll flip the hands out, rotate this around, rotate this up, and just peg into the bottom port there. And there he is, basically in his arm mode, right arm mode to be exact. Not too shabby. With the extra arm or weapon, you can actually peg that in, give it just a little bit more look to it, like so, if you wanted to. Not too shabby at all. I do like it this way. I again, I think the main instruction is for you to have this flip back and this back like so, just to give it a little bit more shoulder girth to it. But and this, again, this doesn't look too bad either. This is more like how I will display him as his arm, because to me, like I said before, he was an arm, and if I believe I'm right, I might be wrong. He was the right arm of Minosaur. But before we get on to the next, let's go any further. Let's get him into his robot form, which we pretty much already have him transformed. We'll just get this weapon out of the way, get the hand, the robot hand, giant Minosaur hand out of the way. We'll rotate this back down, and this is how he is in vehicle mode with the waist area. But you want to turn it all the way around to face this way for his robot form, and you can well, he's got a kind of a little weighted there, but you can leave this little port down if you like. You can keep it back up, which kind of looks a little bit weird and actually does throw him off just a hair. I actually kind of like, I'll put it down just to give it this extra little stability, because it will give him that extra little bit of heel piece to him as well. The arms, you just flip these out, and this is basically his shoulder. Straighten that up, and then his hands are right here on the inside, which you will rotate. Which sadly I can't get that to come out. Come on now, there we go. Good ratchet joints there for that. Do the same on this side. Wedge up the shoulder, and just come on. There we go. Bring the fist out. Now all that's left is we put the combining port back down, and like with breakdown, you flip this whole section up and down. And there's not really a peg to this, but you do right here in the chest area. These little pegs will peg right into there, just to give it all some stability. Lastly, before you flip the head around, when you have this flip back, it's going to throw this off. When you bring it up, it brings it up with it, as you see. But you wedge the joints here, slide that back like so, stand them up, and let's not forget to turn his head around. And we have Dead End in his robot form. And the kind of phrase that I can remember of Dead End, they were in space, he's floating, been hit several times, and he's sitting there smoking, he's floating through, and he goes, if you can remember what episode this is from, please put it in the comments section below. He says, what does it matter from the front or behind? Death is death. So, I mean, in the G1, and I believe in his main story arc and everything, he's concerned about death, but he's like one of those ones that, if I'm going out, I'm taking as many as I can with me. Death is inevitable, if anything, anyhow, so. Nextly, let's give him his weaponry, which is his club, his exhaust gun, whatever you can call it. You can do like so, which kind of, again, it looks like a really weird gun. Looks better as a mace, like so. And then you can actually do this a couple of ways. You can actually take and peg this in as a gun, which I'm going to do it this way, into his hand, which isn't too shabby. Or you can actually do it this way as well, keep it in the same form, and you can have it peg it into the same port you would put the pipe on the side of the Concard mode. You can plug it right there in the side of his arm, and he's got like so, where he can basically have it like that if you want, which isn't too bad. I kind of like that. But before I forget, which I haven't gone over this yet, articulation and paint. Actually, I haven't actually mentioned his paint on his robot form either. I do like his face sculpt. He's one of the my favorite face sculpts or actually all the Decepticons. Their face sculpts are actually really well done. But head articulation, he's on a ball joint. He can't really go all the way around because of this piece here. but it still get a little bit swivel, and just gets that little bit of a nod from you, for you. The shoulder, he does have basically that little bit right there, and he can swing his arm all the way around because of the ball joint. He has this little joint here, we can swing that around too. He has the elbow, and just doesn't really have any wrist swivel, but he does have the wrist bend where you can bend it like so and back. The waist, he does have the waist swivel. We can swivel it all the way around. Right here in the hips, he's got that joint movement motion there. He's got the swivel here just below it, and they got the knee as well. No foot or heel articulation at all. But that's going to be dead end for you guys. As always, I highly recommend picking this up because of the simple fact he's perfect for your Stumpticon Combiner Wars. I do like the way they've done all these guys. Very, very well done, and the engineering and everything. Definitely a big upgrade from the G1s. I did used to have most of the G1 Stumpticons where basically all their legs was just basically slid it down to like this, and that was it. You know, it didn't have no knee or anything like that, but still not too bad. Where can you pick this up? I'm glad you asked. PrimeToys.net. I'll have a link below to it where you can go to the website, pick them up, and if you go in there, and if you're like me and you listen to the Transmissions podcast, you can put in the Transmissions podcast. You can put the code in Transmissions July, and you post that in there on your link or on your checkout, and you get 10% off for this month. Just this month of July, though. But definitely check out the Transmissions podcast. They're definitely worth it. Check out all of PrimeToys.net because, like I said, you can get your collector grade Transformers for not the collector grade price. But as always, guys, please comment, like, and share this video. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe. And below, I also have links to my my Twitter and to my Instagram. Where on my Instagram, I've been posting up pictures of what reviews I'm going to be doing that week. So it's definitely worth checking it out and seeing what's coming up. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I hope to hear from you soon.